Good morning, friends. We have finished. What was that last topic? That is alternating currents, right? So almost part one is over. Electromagnetic waves only pending. So that we will complete. Next we will start another lesson, atoms. This is chapter 12 actually in part 2. Okay. So come to this chapter. This is atoms. So in this lesson we shall have a discussion atomic models, first who proposed and then how the development done. So how the electrons revolve, what is the energy revolving of the electron, what is the spectrum, okay, and structure of, we don't see the structure of atom, and we will find the equations, wavelength when electron jump from one orbit to another orbit. So we don't discuss for all atoms, we will discuss only for hydrogen in this textbook. In this lesson they given atomic models and especially for hydrogen. This you have studied in first PU chemistry, atomic structure. Okay, almost points are same equations we will derive in this lesson. Okay, it is easy for you because already you studied, but some extra was there, that is Rutherford alpha scattering. Some technical words, new words are there, impact parameter, trajectory of alpha particle. Okay, some problems, different kind of problems. So in atomic structure, you did not study the Rutherford model and equations, but in this lesson we will see that equations. Clear? So complete this lesson, we will have a discussion about atom and its model. Okay. Now first it goes to 19th century. Okay. J.J. Thomson in 1856 to 1940, he introduced first atomic model. Who introduced? J.J. Thomson. So according to him, what happened? Atom electrically neutral. It contains positive and negative charges, and entire atom is deposited with positive charge, and in that, in the spherical region actually, clear, in that distribution of positive charges, their negative charges also there, just like a seed in a watermelon. Right? So this model we call it as a palm pudding model. Already we studied watermelon model. Clear? Or this we call it as a palm pudding model. So what did he say? J.J. Thomson, positive charge of the atom is uniformly distributed throughout the volume of the atom, and negatively charged electrons are embedded in it like a seeds in watermelon. Okay, and distribution of electrons and positive charges are very different from the proposed in this model. This was the first model actually. Later on, this model proved as a wrong. Reason, advanced development. They showed that the formation of spectral lines. This model not explained how the spectral lines means how the radiation comes out from the atom. That this model, J.J. Thomson model, not explained, but he laid the first atomic model. This is the model which is based to all other models. Clear? After that, it is failed. Reason the radiation reason they given. Why the radiation comes out? Why the spectral lines forms? This phenomena did not explained by the J.J. Thomson model. After that, Rutherford in 1871 and 1973, he given one model. Okay, he is the student of J.J. Thomson. Was engaged in an experiment on alpha particle emitted by some radioactive elements in 1906. Okay, he proposed one model. Okay, nuclear model of the atom. Okay, not only Rutherford, later on the experiments was later performed 1911 by the Hans Geiger and Marsden, who was a 20-year-old student and had not yet to earn the bachelor degree, but he was interested in physics. That's why he has done. Okay, finally Rutherford given nuclear model. See, one proposed one model, then sequence. One has done experiment and another given theoretical and experimental proof for this model. So most acceptable model when 1871-19 between these was Rutherford model. Okay, that we will see first. After that we will see the Bohr atomic model. What was the Rutherford model and who done the experiment for Rutherford model, we will see. That one is alpha particle scattering and Rutherford nuclear model of atom. What is that? Alpha particle particle scattering and Rutherford's nuclear model. Okay, so in this, at the suggestion of Rutherford in 1911, Geiger and Marsden performed some experiments. Okay, now we will see that experiments. Okay, what did they do? Alpha particle scattering. They allow these alpha particles to fall on the gold foil, the thin gold foil, and then they they observe. They measure the scattering of alpha particles from the gold foil. Alpha radiation. Do you know electromagnetic? What is that? This is radioactivity element. From a radioactivity element or radioactive element, they allow the alpha particle to fall on gold foil, and the scattered alpha particle they studied. Okay, the experiment was here given. So here this is a lead cube. In this he made a fine mold. Here we have a radioactive element from this alpha particle coming, and they allow this alpha particle to fall on which one? Gold foil. This is gold foil. Means gold sheet. Clear? This is So after this is not single line, it is a beam of alpha particles, alpha rays, and the scattered alpha particles like this from this. Here they given figure screen. How do they know scattered? Actually, this rays is not visible. How do they know alpha particles scattered? This is what screen. As soon as these scattered particles fall on it, it gives the scintillation, sparks. Clear? So this is the experimental arrangement. They detected a beam of 5.5 MeV alpha particle emitted from the radioactive element and radioactive source at the thin metal foil made of gold. Shows schematic diagram. Clear? And alpha particle emitted by the radioactive source were collimated into a narrow beam by their passes through the lead brick. These are common. Then what did they observe? The scattered alpha particles were observed through the rotatable detector consist of zinc sulfide screen and a microscope. The scattered alpha particles are striking the screen produce the brief light flashes or scintillations. These flashes may be viewed through a microscope, and the distribution of the number of scattered particles may be studied as a function of angle of scattering. Okay, so this is the experimental observation arrangement. Next, we do expect this schematic diagram in 2 marks, not this. Now I will draw on the board the schematic arrangement of Greger-Marsden experiment. This we do expect for 2 marks. Draw the schematic arrangement of Greger-Marsden experiment. From this experiment, we will conclude. We will see the conclusion of Rutherford model. So these two are the lead bricks. Lead bricks. This is source of alpha particles. Here this is lead bricks. From lead bricks, alpha particle is falling. This is beam of alpha. Okay, thin gold foil, large angle scatter of the same. So this is thin gold foil. Clear? What is this dotted? Small angle scattering of most and a zinc screen. Okay. Here it is theta. These are the scattered alpha particles. Detector and microscope. Detector means it's nothing but using microscope only they detected. Okay. Detector. This is microscope. So these are backward scattering of very small fraction. They scattered with small angle. Small angle scattering of motion. Okay. So this was a schematic diagram of whose Grigor and Marshall experiment. This experiment only, from this experiment only we can understand, we try to understand the Rutherford model. Okay, a typical graph of the total number of alpha particles scattered from this. Okay, this, see, first we need to know what is alpha particle. Alpha particle means it's ionized helium. Alpha is nothing but ionized helium, H2O4. Ionized means how many electrons are there in helium? 2 electrons. 2 electrons. Okay. Next 2 protons. Okay, 2 neutrons. If you remove this electron, so 2 electrons, right? 2 electrons, 2 protons. 2 positive charges, 2 negative charges, electrically neutral. If you remove electrons, what would be the charge of helium? Positive, because only protons are there. So alpha particle is nothing but it's a flow of positive charges, right? Now, once they fall on the gold foil, this alpha rays, alpha particle, what did they notice in this detector? Most of them, see, they scattered with small angle. Clear? So, very few are scattered back. Understand? So, here the question is, most of them, see, small angle scattering, and a few are scattered back, and few are, they reflected in the same line. They move in the, actually this line beam of alpha, right? Beam of alpha particle. Clear? And very few, they retrace their path. Clear? So from this, they conclude most of them scattered more. Okay? Reason they said the space in the atom is empty. Because many rays passes through the atom. And the next one, especially the rays which retraced, this indicating dark. So it is reflecting back. Why it is reflecting back? This is the question. Something is pushing these rays back. Clear? What is the something? He explained reason. If you take this single atom like this, the center portion having positive charge. He concluded. What did he concluded? The center portion of the atom is positively charged. Reason, alpha particle is positively charged. It's reflect back. When reflects back, according to electrostatics, like charges reflect. Sorry, like charges repel. Here what happened? Alpha particle repel back. So alpha is positive charge. So which is close to the nucleus, that which falls on the center of the atom, that reflects back. What does it mean? One force which is pushes this back. What is that force? Repulsive force. When repulsive force is exists, like charges. Which charges is falling? Positive charge is falling. That is coming back. Means the center of the atom having the portion of this, that center portion of the atom having positive charge. So there is a positive charge. Then he concludes that the mass of the atom is concentrated at the center. Around the atom, see, remaining space is empty because most of the alpha particle passes through this. The scattering angle is very, very small. This is the experimental observation for Rutherford model. So from this, what did he say? The center of the atom. He mentioned that it is nucleus. It is having positive charge. Total mass concentrated at center. That's why this we call it as the Rutherford nuclear model. Clear? And he said that electrons revolve around this nucleus like a planetary motion. How the planets move around the sun, like that. Electrons also moves around the nucleus. Okay. What are the main points in Rutherford? The center portion is positively charged. Total mass concentrated at the center. Clear? Electrons revolve around the nucleus like a planetary motion. So that's why you see first what did he say? The center portion is at the nucleus. So that's why this credit, Rutherford is credited with the discovery of the nucleus. It consists, what did he say? Nucleus, it contains positively charged. So they drawn the graph between the scattering angle, number of alpha particles detected. Clear? So in this graph, see when the angle is 0. When the angle is 0 means this, if you take the atom, right? If it is fall straight line, what is the angle? It is 0. Then there is no scattering angle they did not detect. Clear? As angle is increases, what happens? As angle is increases, scattering also decreases. Clear? Here you will see in the graph. So based on the number of scattering rays, they concluded this, and they mentioned one more important point: the size of the nucleus. They mentioned as 10 power 15 meter to 10 power minus 14. So 10 power minus 15 meter to 10 power minus 14 meter. This is size of the nucleus. And also given size of the atom. The size of the atom he mentioned as 10 power minus 10 meter according to Rutherford. Clear? What is the size of the nucleus? 10 power minus 15 meter to 10 power minus 14. This is the size of the nucleus. And the size of the atom is given as 10 power minus 10 meter. 10 power minus 10 meter. They given count, scattering count also. About the 10,000 to 1 lakh times larger than the size of the nucleus. Okay. And they given the count, they can compare, not count actually. The electrons would seems to be at a distance from the nucleus about 10,000 to 1 lakh times the size of the nucleus itself. So thus most of the atom is empty space. Clear? So why these particles scatter? Why it is not penetrate through the nucleus? He mentioned it clearly. Which atom, which foil is taken? Gold foil is taken. Okay. So gold foil. So gold atomic number, if you take it as Z. Am I correct? Okay. So what is the charge in that? Suppose positive charges Z, E. Clear? Z is the atomic number. The atomic number is gold is 79. So how many protons are there? 79 protons are there. So which particle is falling? Alpha particle. How many are there? 2. Clear? 2 protons. Which will dominate? 79 or 2E? 79 is dominant. That's why repulsive force is maximum. That's why it is not penetrated through the nucleus. Clear? So that nucleus is heavier than which one? Alpha particle. So you already studied in collision. Clear? When head-on collision, if second body heavier and at rest, when lighter body collide, what will happen? It comes back with the same velocity. Direction changes and it comes with the same velocity, like that here also. When it is head-on collision with the nucleus, then which alpha particle which are in head-on collision with the nucleus, they return back. That's why, which is colliding nucleus that are not penetrated. Okay. So repulsive force they given according to electrostatic. What is our Coulomb's law? What is that repulsive force? Q1 1 by 4 pi epsilon, Q1 Q2 by r square. So here 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. First particle, you know, this is helium charge. That is 2e into what is the gold charge? Ze by r square. R square means the separation, how close it moves to the nucleus. Clear? So this is about Rutherford model. Clear? Important points are size of the nucleus, 10 power 15 to 10 power minus 15 to 10 power minus 14. Total concentrated the nucleus, the center that we call it as the nucleus. It contains positively charged, and it possesses the total mass of the mass is concentrated at the center, and total atom is empty. Clear? So that is important points regarding Rutherford model. And next we will see the alpha particle trajectory. We will close watch what is happening in this small atom. Clear? Alpha particle trajectory. From this we do expect one more question. Alpha particle trajectory. Okay. See, this is the target nucleus, means gold nucleus. Target nucleus, right? Now, this is alpha particle. First alpha particle there, it is directed towards the center of the, not directed, it is falling where exactly at the center of the nucleus. See this, if we take it center of the nucleus as a line, reference line, what is the angle of this incident ray is 0. So this alpha particle falling and reflecting back. Clear? Reason due to repulsive force. So just another line. Is this falling at the center? No. It is just above the center. So then the deviation means scattering is more. Okay? As we move away, another ray is away from the center of the nucleus. Then deviation is like this. Means scattering. Then take another ray. Clear? So this one. Next, away from this. Next one. Here. Like so, if all the way it is falling, moving straight. See, this is the center of the nucleus. This is reference line. See, this all will be falling in this direction. See how they scatter. See here. So scattering, this is scattering angle. as it is move away, the rays which are away from the center of the nucleus, the scattering is very less. Clear? No, let's see. When the incident angle, see this, so which fall close to the nucleus, they scattered more. So this we call it as the distance between the center of the nucleus to the direction of the initial velocity of the alpha particle. See this, suppose if you take it this one, this is the direction of the velocity. This is the center of the nucleus, this distance. This is what? Perpendicular distance of alpha particle from its velocity to the velocity direction to the center. We call it as the impact parameter P. Impact parameter is small, scattering is more. Impact parameter is large, scattering is small. Clear? See, for this second ray, if you take it, if you extend this is incident velocity direction, this one. This is the center of the nucleus line, this distance. Impact parameter is small, scattering is more. For this, the impact parameter is small, scattering more. For this impact parameter B is 0. What is the scattering angle? That is pi, 180 degree. This is initial direction, right? And it is reflect back. What is the angle? Pi, 180 degree. So what is impact parameter? It is a distance. It is a perpendicular distance to the center of the nucleus from the initial velocity direction of alpha particle is impact parameter. Impact parameter is large, scattering is small. Impact parameter is small, scattering is more. Clear? And one more point also there. Here, which is falling on the center of the nucleus, it will not touches the nucleus. It approaches, right, almost close and reflect back due to repulsive force. This we call it as the closest approach. What is that? This we call it as a closest approach. So from this we do expect one more question or complementary question. See, closest approach means where the alpha particle returns. The point where alpha particle returns. So the distance between center of the nucleus and point where the alpha particle turns back. That we call it as this distance. If we take it as a, let us say D, this D we call it as impact. What is that? Closest approach. Closest approach. So in this, how do we find this D? We will follow again electrostatics. Before reaches this, which energy is there? Kinetic energy is there. So half mv square, kinetic energy of the alpha is equal to, what happens? It's turned back, means the kinetic energy converted to electrostatic potential energy. 4 pi epsilon naught. What is the electrostatic potential between two charges? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r. So one charge is 2e, another one is into z e by closest approach we are taking is d. So using this expression we will find the closest approach, because we are allowing the alpha particle. So we know that what is the kinetic energy of this alpha particle, right? That we will equate to potential energy of the what is that nucleus, and what is it? Gold nucleus and the alpha particle. At this distance, this kinetic energy becomes 0, again going back. The moment the kinetic energy is 0, thus in that point, that particular condition, we find this equation to find the closest approach. So impact parameter is perpendicular distance between to the center of the nucleus to from initial velocity direction. Next, impact parameter is large. Then this is what? Impact parameter. Okay, impact parameter. Clear? Impact parameter. PARAMETR. Okay. Large impact parameter, small scattering. Scattering is less. Clear? Less impact parameter, scattering is more. Clear? So this is about the alpha particle trajectory. Clear? So only small fraction of the number of incident particles rebound back. Indicates that number of alpha particles undergoing a head-on collision is small. This in turn implies that mass of the atom is concentrated in small volume. Rutherford scattering therefore is a powerful way to determine upper limit to the size of the nucleus. Clear? So this is about alpha particle trajectory. Electron orbits. Now we will see Rutherford explanation. What is the explanation? Now we are seeing, we will see the equations. Electron orbits. What did it say? Electrons revolve around the nucleus, right? He mentioned. Based on that point, we will frame the equations. Clear? Okay. For a hydrogen atom, we are applying for a Rutherford model for a hydrogen atom. So, according to him, center of the nucleus, center of the atom, the center is nucleus, electrons revolve in a orbit like a planet. So this distance is r. So a hydrogen atom we are talking. How many electrons are there? One electron. How many protons are there? One proton. That is E plus. I written E see because magnitude is remains same. Electron magnitude and proton magnitude. That's why I written E plus. Okay. Now it is revolving in circular motion. When body is in circular motion, which force it experiences? Centripetal force. So who is providing the centripetal force? Electrostatic force. So electrostatic force providing centripetal force. It's moving with, revolving with velocity v. Velocity v. So what is electrostatic force? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r square. E. So E square by r square is equal to mv square by r. Clear? From this we can find we can calculate what is the radius. 1 r will be cancelled, then r is equal to half 1 by 4 pi epsilon r goes this side, mv square comes this side, right? So 1 by 4 by epsilon naught E square by mv square. This is the radius of the electron, not electron actually, electron orbit. Clear? According to who? Rutherford model. This is the first equation. Clear? Next, we will try to find out the kinetic energy and potential energy, total energy of the electron. Clear? Total energy of the electron, total energy of the particle, how do we write? According to first view, it is sum of the kinetic energy and potential energy. So first we will try to find out kinetic energy, Ke of electron, because it is moving with velocity v. Ke of electron. Okay. So Ke expression this Ke is equal to general equation of mv square, right? So from this already we have a mv square. Am I correct? So mv square, what is mv square? 1 by 4 by epsilon naught E square by r. So this I can write 1 by 2. Instead of mv square, write this one 1 by 4 by epsilon naught 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught E square by R. This will be 1 by 8 pi epsilon naught E square by R. This is K. Next P. Which energy is there? Potential energy, electrostatic potential energy is there. So that we will write U. Okay. Electrostatic potential energy formula, general formula 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R. So here 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. One Q is what? E. Another Q is what? Minus E. So we will get here minus E square by R. In potential energy we will consider sign also, but in the force we don't consider. Reason, if negative comes means that force is attractive. If positive comes means that force is repulsive. So we are giving name attractive and repulsive. That's why we don't write minus in this. But in potential energy, if negative comes, what does it mean? It attractive force. But we need to know, because for forces we will giving the directions, but energy we cannot. Understand? Now this is potential energy. Total energy of the electron. Total energy of electron. Minus sign indicates one more meaning here. It is bound to the nucleus because it is attractive. Here minus indicates what? It is bound to the nucleus. So that we will see now. So total energy is what? T is equal to, or E is equal to Ke plus U. Kinetic energy plus potential energy. So write down. What is kinetic energy? 1 by 8 pi epsilon naught E square by R. This is minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught E square by R. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught E square by R will take it common. Here what is there? 1 by 2. Because 4 by epsilon we take it common. Minus 1. So half minus 1, which is greater? Half greater or 1 greater? 1 greater. Right? But we given minus. So half minus 1 minus half. So we will get minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught E square by R. This is the total energy of the electron of hydrogen atom according to Rutherford model. 1 by 2 minus 1. See, if you take LCM 2, 1 minus 2, so minus 1 by 2. Here, this I written directly. So minus 1 by 2 is there. So already 4 is there, it will be into 2. So 1 by 8 by epsilon naught E square by R. This is the total energy of the, or energy of the electron in a hydrogen atom according to Rutherford model. Minus indicates electron bound to the nucleus. Right? If we get positive means electron will not be bound to the nucleus. It will be it will free. It can go it can travel anywhere in the space. Clear? Understand what we have done? To find R, we follow the centripetal force. This is provided by the electrostatic force. To find the total energy, we calculated kinetic energy first by following basic formula. And to find the potential energy, we follow potential energy formula, electrostatic. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R. This is already explained in electrostatics. What is that potential and capacitance? Clear? That's explained. We explained that formula, right? So this is about electron energy using Rutherford model. Right? We will see the next problem. Now, example problem 12.3. It is found experimentally that 13.6 eV energy is required to separate the hydrogen atom into proton and electron. Compute the orbital radius and velocity of the electron in the hydrogen atom. It is 12.3. Total energy of the electron is given. E is equal to no. It is found experimentally that 13.6 eV energy is required to separate. Okay, that is 13.6 eV. How do you convert into the joules? 13.6 into 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 joules. Clear? So to separate this, what they are asking, compute the orbital radius and velocity of the electron. So we have a energy expression, right? So this energy is given because it is separating. What is the bonding energy? This is bonding energy. Once we provide this bonding energy, then electron will become free. So equate with this. So 13.6 into 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 is equal to, we have 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 9 into 10 power 9. Am I correct or not? Yes or no? See, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is 9 into 10 power 9. Am I correct or not? But we have 1 by 4 pi 8 epsilon naught is there. This we can write 1 by 2 into 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Am I correct or not? So 1 by 4 by epsilon naught 9 into 10 power 9. 1 by 2 is there. This is 4.9. Am I correct or not? So this I can write 4.5 into 10 power 9 into electron charge 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 whole square by R we are going to calculate. 1.6 will be cancelled. Then R is equal to 4.5 into 10 power 9 by 13.6 into, no, direct. If you do this, you will get the answer. Clear? So that is R is equal to 5.3 into 10 power minus 11 meter. Next, what did they ask? What is the velocity of electron? So we have this relation, right? From this we can find the velocity. See, here only I am doing. Next question is velocity. How do you find velocity? We got R. R substitute here. What is R? 5.3. So 5.3 into 10 power minus 11 is equal to 1 by 4 by epsilon naught 9 into 10 power 9. 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 whole square by mass of the electron. What is that? 9.1 into 10 power minus 31 into V square. Make it V square subject. Then 9 into 10 power 9 into 1.6 into 1.6 into 10 power minus 38 by 5.3 into 10 power minus 11 into 9.1 into 10 power minus 31. First clear the powers, then calculate. Just I am giving only clarity in the powers. 9 minus 38. What is that? Minus 29. Right? Minus 11 minus 31. Minus 42. That comes up. Plus 42. Then this is equal to 23. 23 or 13? It is 13. If you add 19 to the 13, what do you get? 42? Yeah, it is 40. So 13. 10 power 13. Remaining all are what? 9 into 1.6 into 1.6 by 5.3 into 9.1. Clear? Understand? This is V square value. Calculate and find the root. You will get the answer. It is around 2.2 into 10 power 6. This is equal to 2.2 into 10 power 6 meter per second. This is velocity of the electron according to given question. Right? Remaining we will see in the next class.